When it comes to EVE Online, every player wants to know the most effective tactic available. You want to know the meta. The meta controls everything. It determines what will and will not happen. Knowing the meta will alter your views, make you question your reality. It might even make you laugh. And now, you're part of it. You're watching The Meta Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Meta Show, where we are still romantic about EVE Online after all these years. Today, July 30th, 2022. I'm joined alongside my co-host with the mostest, Mr. Merkelchen, and we are joined today by the one, the only, Mr. Smasher Elias himself, the new Goonswarm Alliance Executor. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. I'm excited. I'm excited that you're here. It's been a while. We haven't had you on the show in 6 months or so, Ash. I think it's M2 or M was like the last time you were here.
Yeah, you've been on this anti-camera persecution where you're trying to get me to reveal my face, and I stubbornly will not do so. So,
well, unfortunately,
Brisc, do you think I feel vindicated given everything that's happened in the last month? Do you think that I'm not really sitting there smugging with my invisible face in an incredible way?
Be smugging. There's nothing to be scared of. You can't be too worried about it. Everybody knows what I look like. Everybody knows what Merck's looks like. We're still here. It's okay. But I do understand. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. Merck, how are you this weekend?
I'm doing very well. We don't play scared, so the camera's on.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're not running? You're not running from anyone.
That's it. We're still here. I have to say, last week, Merck and I were on vacation, oddly enough, in the exact same place, and got to hang out together. And I love the fact that every time there is no meta show, for whatever reason, I get two things. The first is I get a dozen angry messages from people asking why there's no show. And then I get another dozen angry messages that are sent to me from people laughing because the bad guys are happy that we didn't do a meta show this week, because apparently they rate their morale based on whether or not we have a show. And I personally think that's wonderful. So thank you all to our friends on the other side in all these wars who can send out morale pings to their alliances when there's no meta show. It's very nice. So, all right, the big news.
Can I tell you something, Brisc? I would love, of course, I would love to release the face cam, but I am currently under audit. And my lawyer has advised me that as long as I'm under audit, we're not going to release the face cam.
That's perfectly fair.
Yeah.
Once you're done being audited, then we'll get the camera.
It's all coming out. It's all being released.
It's perfectly good. All right. We're going to go straight into the top story. Obviously, top story of the week. It couldn't be anything but this. Asher Elias is the new Alliance Executor of Goonswarm. We'll be right back in a second. Our top story on Thursday, 1800 EVE Online, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Freedom Time for those of you following along at home. We had an announcement that, first I have to say, before we get into the announcement and we talk to Asher about his new role as Alliance Executor, I need to shout out my dear friend The Edge, because he was successful in the most epic pancake catting I've ever seen in my entire life. He had the entire Imperium clicking on a link purportedly to be the reveal video of the new Alliance Executor, but it was not. It was Pancake Cat. Mark, I was there for that. You were there for that. How did it make you feel?
Listen, there have been some legendary pancake catting, some of the most grotesque ones pulled on me unfairly when we're live, when it's impossible to be like, that wasn't just pancake cat that you heard come on my computer. Very, very unfairly. I thought, you know what? That was a respectable one. I mean, not a single soul would think that the Adge is the kind of guy that would be a disciple of the Pancake Cat Doctrine. So I was happy to see it. I was happy to see a bunch of knuckleheads click on it. It brought a little levity to the situation, and then we handled our business as is tradition. So very nice to see. Power move.
It was a power move. We're very proud. And the most important part was as soon as he finished pancake catting everyone, he turned it over to Asher, who gave what I think is fair to say, and you all heard it, the Mind One remix of the speech during the pre-roll of the Meta Show today, one of the better speeches that we have heard in a long, long time. And I think it fired a ton of people up. Asher, how did you feel giving that speech? What was it like giving that first inaugural speech as Mr. Alliance Executor for Gooseful?
I was nervous as hell, dude. I was nervous as hell.
Mom spaghetti.
Yeah. There was, I wrote it the night before. I popped it out in about an hour. I took a shower and sort of got the inspiration for most of it. I've been telling people how, dude, who's the guy who writes The West Wing? Aaron Sorkin. He apparently takes like 10 showers a day because that's where he, gets his inspiration. He has like a shower in his writing room. So I was, I did that and then I wrote it, but I mean, that was a pretty vulnerable speech, I guess. I don't know the right word, but it wasn't your normal, like, hey, we're the coolest guys around and let's, we don't care about this. We're too cool to care about Eve. That's been sort of a prevailing attitude. And I've been thinking about it and it's like, it's just like in high school attitude, like, a bunch of 18-year-olds telling you how they, oh, you listen to top 40 music? That's so lame,
Lame, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just so tired of it. I'm just so tired. I'm like, we're all adults here, right? Let's act like we actually care about this thing. Let's stop pretending if we are. But when I wrote it, it's from the heart, but you're not sure how it's going to be received. Whenever you write something, especially something that's sort of not the norm, you worry about it. So I sat there. I'm like, well, should I change it? Should I soften it? No, I didn't. I just changed a couple words, but yeah, I was nervous. And then some guy said he's reading from a script, and I was like, yeah, I'm reading from a script. And then after that, all the nervousness went away, and I went through the rest of it. So it was fun.
So I have to say, in there were a couple of things that I thought were pretty important. I mean, the number one thing was you talked about where you have been since M2. And I think that was kind of surprising to a lot of people because most people figured, all right, you were just burnt out. It was a long fight. You were FCing all the time. You were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And you took a step away because you needed a break from the game, which many people do over the years. But it seemed like that wasn't the case. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, I think I covered most of what it was. I mean, there were certainly more details, but when you're trying to say something in 5 minutes, you don't need to go into like, oh, this happened and this happened, and there's certainly the gory details, but basically, it was just a difference in how one person felt it should go versus the other, and I didn't want to be publicly negative or angry about it. So that was what I said. And I did need the break, by the way. It was nice, but it was a whole year as an FC. You just don't get the breaks like you would otherwise. Right. So, yeah. So, but I wanted to share, even though it might've been like, oh, this is a takedown. I didn't want it to come out that way, but I did want to share the reasoning behind it and my motivation. I thought it was important to be honest about that.
And I appreciate that. And I know, Mark, we've seen in the past when senior FCs in alliances don't like leadership decisions. What tends to happen in those situations?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Brisc. Goons have had a long-standing policy to never allow an FC to be our leader guy, and we've really fucked that up lately. Yeah. Just kidding. You know what? There's a couple elements to it. There's a few elements to it. Number one, people only have so much bandwidth. FCs are usually pretty fragged out people naturally. So suddenly having to, have people's feelings about a matter laid bare and you need to be the arbiter of what happens obviously just begins to pile up on you. And unless you've got a real good supportive structure available, it can be too much, and often is. To your question, what happens when the leader guy is not in agreement with maybe a call that an FC person is making, well, then I think it's really easy to just be like, if it goes wrong, you could just be like, well, I mean, he really fucked me up on this one. I was fighting with my hands tied behind my back that whole time. But, when the FC is the leader guy, then I think you just sort of sleep comfortably knowing that, you made the call and you're doing what you think is best and the outcome is what it is. And that has to be okay. So, it's worked for tons of groups in the past. It hadn't worked for goons. But when I say it hadn't worked, that's sort of with air quotes, because the last guy was on the job for more than a decade. So he sort of set a precedent in and of itself without it actually being like some kind of hard and fast rule. So, it is what it is.
And I think one of the things that I was proud of, and one of the things that I think we've seen is it's all too easy in Eve for someone who has built up a name for themselves, if they come into conflict with the ostensible leader of the group or the main FC of the group or something like that, for there to be a big blow up and a big massive takedown and a big Reddit reveal thread, and I'm leaving this group and I'm going somewhere else. We saw this plenty of times, and there have been FCs that have left goons that made big noises on the way out as they're heading off to NC Dot and then moving on to other places and all that kind of stuff. We've seen that before, and it tends to be, at least in my opinion, really disruptive, because you've got folks that liked that person when they were part of the group, and then they go over here and they just take a big giant dump on the organization, and it puts them in a tough position. It puts the line members in a tough position. It puts the FCs in a bad position. It creates a lot of bad blood. But I mean, some people would say, well, that's good for conflict in the game, but I don't think it's that great. But you didn't do that, and I think that, more than anything, is one of the reasons why I think you're a perfect guy for this type of job. You could have done that. Anybody else would have said, you know what? Look at what the 23rd best FC in the Alliance and the Imperium has done lately. He's great. Yeah. Why don't we ask him to come join our group? And we know he's disgruntled, so he'll do a big post or something and we'll take him over and it'll be great. But you never did that. You just kind of took a little break and you came back and you were willing to step up for this really tough job when we needed you. That, I think, is pretty mature for an Eve player.
I want it to be fully gruntled. You're right. I think the key for me was, I wanted to make changes within the org. So like, if it's better for goons, those are the kind of changes I want to make. But I was never, saying, I should do the Asher Alliance, right? Like that was never a thought. Like if we can make changes internally that lead to a better, outcome for goons, those are what we should do. And when I felt like there wasn't a way to do those, I just sort of stepped back and said, hey, but I didn't want to rip things apart and start some like, non-goon thing, because everyone here, the people that I've flown with for almost a decade now, right? It's, and I don't think splitting them in half or whatever would happen would have been the way forward at all. So that was not a concern. It was always, can we do something within goons to make goons better?
The other thing that I wanted to highlight that you said during the speech, and I know Matane came under a lot of criticism over the years because he was a relatively hands-off chief executive. He was there, he was in the meetings, he would delegate, but he wasn't an FC. He wasn't out there constantly like in the pits with everybody. And that was something that's different. I mean, look, if you guys go ahead and pull up, and hell, I'll do it while we're sitting here. If you pull up Zkill and you take a look, let me find it here. I'm going to head over to our little group here, chat. Here is our fun little screen. Well, we'll get to the fire soda in a moment, but here is Zkill. You look up Goon Swarm Federation right here. You go to top all time.
I bet you the person top all-time
PvP characters.
Is a pretty cool guy, I bet.
Look at that.
All the babes dig this person.
Look at that.
Who could it be? Unbelievable. He sounds like a great dude.
Right? I mean, it's weird to see. Oh, by the way, check that out. Karma Fleet, #1 Corp. That you have, as our Alliance executive, the most PvP of all PvP characters in the entire organization. And that is saying a lot, because this is an old organization. It's been around a long time. The fact that you're number one is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Having somebody that's out, that's an FC that fights, that's in the fleets, that is like when it says, if we're going to alarm clock for this, I'll be there next to you. That was kind of cool. I definitely appreciated that. And I think that's something that you don't see all the time, especially in some of these very old alliances that don't have PvP leaders. I know Init does. Shines is a great FC and a great alliance executor. And I think having you and him having had a relationship, that's going to be very good moving forward too. What do you say to the rest of the Imperium?
Well,
now that you're the new leader.
What I said during meetings with our guys today was that, this is not a military dictatorship. It's not like my way or the highway type thing. And I was just in the old meeting, I was saying that, there are people who, their opinion is like, hey, we should be very super safe. And then there's myself, where my opinion is, hey, we should like push the chips in every single time. And I think that there's probably a really good middle ground where we are active, we're fighting, we're like giving our guys the chance to do what I said, make those stories, but we're not going to be, this doesn't mean that like, oh, tomorrow we're just going to march our Titans out and wait till you come shoot them or go in a fight and, fight, 3-1 outnumbered in something that we can't win. What I wanted to convey, though, was that when we have those good opportunities, when the time is right to push the chips in, we're going to do that. We're going to have the the wherewithal to know when to do that, rather than just say, let's be incredibly conservative. Because I think that there's, and I know like a lot of guys will be like, hey, I am with you. I'm so excited about fighting. And I will lose my super with you. Like I've got that message. Some guys like, hey, I will lose my Titan with you. I want that to be my story. I'm like, I'm really happy to hear that. I'm not going to throw your Titan away, right? We're going to do it when the time is right to win, not because we have some sort of like Don Quixote desire for Titan chivalry that doesn't exist anymore or never did, right? Exactly. So I think that's the important point, because some people have been like, hey, you're going to just be like flying around the map in your Titan fleet. No, we're going to do it the right way. We're going to win, and we're going to try and win and be aggressive. And what we're not going to do is we're not going to be afraid of that small chance of loss. That always exists, right? And we're not going to put up a bubble around ourselves to avoid that. That's the message I want to get out.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Gibbons, for that raid. We very much appreciate it. We are talking to Asher Elias, the new Alliance Executive for Goonsform Federation, the next in a long line of Alliance Executors, although we have not had a change in Goonsform leadership in 10 years now. It's interesting. How has this transition been? I guess it's probably like drinking like water through a fire hose, trying to get used to everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I saw all of it happen for a long time, so it's not a surprise, but there's a lot to do, and then a lot of people, hey, can you do this special thing for me? Can you fulfill this request? Can you do that? Like, and by the way, can you fund this? I'd like some money for this project. Can we get more IT time? And it's like, yeah. I would like you guys to know it's an all volunteer organization. I've been having to put that out there a lot. It wasn't like the last guy was like just goleming, all of our IT people and not releasing them. So I think it's going to be a lot of like finding the balance, and I'll probably lose some support from people who thought, hey, now that my friend of mine is in charge, I can finally get this or get that. And I was just saying to some people is that, I've run a lot of businesses before that have done well, and this is like a lot of work, and in some ways more stressful than those, all for sort of a volunteer basis for a Spaceship Pixels game.
And I think that's a good point that you bring up, and I think it's one thing that a lot of folks don't realize. It's like when you step into this role, even having been Sky Marshal, even having been one of the main FCs, even having been like the guy in the room for all of these changes, it makes a big difference between being the guy that's providing information and then implementing versus the guy that has to make the decisions. And there's definitely kind of a Henry V kind of Falstaff thing where you've got people that just assume they were your friend. Oh, he's going to give me he's going to go do this. He's going to do whatever I tell him he's going to do that. And you got to have to grow up and be like, no, we're doing it this way. Yeah. And I think that's an important lesson for folks to learn and to realize.
Very classy and erudite reference there.
There you go, right? I made a good Shakespearean reference, which is nice. Yeah. But for me, I like
we're already classing this joint up.
Well, we try. Boat did World War II references. I do all of the other ones, most of the Civil War, but some Shakespeare. But the point is, getting you to a position now where you're the one making the decisions, that's got to be an interesting place. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you do things down the road, because I think it's going to be very interesting. And I will say this, what made me happier to see than anything else is the number of people that I saw posting and saying in a lot of places, I'm going to resub all my accounts because I want to fly with Asher. How did that make you feel seeing all that stuff?
Oh man, that was probably the most rewarding part of it, is just, that's my goal. My goal is, there's so much negativity about the game, and will the game be what it is today in 2 years? We don't know that, and we don't really control that. We can only control our social group, what we do. And so I want to offer like a fun future for our guys, the guys that you, I, Merc, all the ones that we know so well. We want to offer a good future to them and as much fun and enjoyment as possible, regardless of any negativity about, oh, the game's going here, we don't like it, or we do. We want to say, hey, from the things we can control, we're going to make your time as enjoyable as possible, and come do it with us. And in the end, that's what this game is all about, right?
Exactly. And I know, Merc, you and I had talked on Rampage a couple of times about our concerns moving forward. Do you think it's helpful to have somebody in the leadership position in the biggest coalition of the game that's willing to say, look, if there's nothing going on, we'll make the content? I kind of feel like that, but I wanted to hear your take on it.
Well, it's kind of what we do when we log in every night. If you think about it, we are looking at EVE Online as deeply unhealthy and very flawed, and just in as god-awful a position as you could possibly be in. like, I'm not dead yet, but we're getting there, pal.
Well, you will be soon. You're very
right.
ill.
So, but do we still log in because we have fun goofing around with our friends? We do. And obviously, that kind of messaging, when you've got a few thousand people that are looking for something to do, very, very helpful and encouraging, because you can only... Really, you can only rag on CCP so much at this point. I'm just blue in the face with talking shit about their god-awful approach to almost everything. So there's just nothing more to be said at this point. It's all well documented. It's all right there. I think everybody understands that, but I have more fun with my friends, than I have a desire to walk away from the game. So we'll just keep hammering away at it until there's nothing else out there to do.
And that's the bottom line. I think in the end, as much as we give CCP a hard time, and don't think that we're going to change what we've been doing on the show for a while, where we feel the need to give them some tough love and tell them where they're making mistakes, we're going to keep doing that. But at the same time, we're also going to give them the attaboys when they deserve it, which has been what we've tried to do on the show for the last 2.5 years since I took over. And we're going to keep doing as long as I'm involved with it. But the reality is right now, there's only so much the company can do. There's only so much CCP can do. This is a sandbox game. It requires the players to make the decisions. And one of the things I'm looking forward to is having the fact that we have Asher, who's new. He needs to prove himself. He's going to go out there. He's going to finish this war strong. We're going to fight hard. We're going to take out fire. We're going to finish up and go after the bads from the end of the last war. And then we're going to keep going, and having a good time. I'm looking forward to that. And I feel like you being in this position where you are right now, Asher, is great, because it's going to give us the boost and the revitalization to an organization that I think was very happy, very, very, very ecstatic that we won the war, but then we kind of fell back into like a comfortable position, as we often do. And now, I mean, everything that you're talking about, everything I've heard you saying, it's great. It makes it sound like you're going to make goons more like the Initiative, and that makes me happy.
Well, I do admire Darkshines a lot. So I think I wouldn't be upset with the comparison.
I had to tease you a little bit with that. Sorry.
Obviously, I think Initiative does a lot of good things. And culturally, there's some differences, but I think we're very closely aligned in a lot of ways. And what I would say is I would want to take like the best things that you do, and just leave behind some of the worst ones, like having Brisc Rubal as a member. But you know,
my God, that's so horrible.
Overall, I do want to grab some of the good stuff.
They have to listen to me and Fleets make jokes. It's bad. All right, so I think we've kind of distilled out all of this stuff. Asher, I think we're looking forward to having you around as the boss man. As always, you have a open invitation. Anytime you want to come on the Meta Show, feel free. Love to have you, even though you are camera averse. Yeah. But I want you to stick around. We're going to go into the top story, or actually, we're going to go into Nullsec Power Hour. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the war against fire in the South that we are involved in. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the war in the North between Fraternity Brave and Fraternity's Pets. Test Alliance, please ignore. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up in EVE Online. So stick around here, everybody, for the Nullsec Power Hour coming up next. All right, so on the screen right now is a map of Tenerifis. Now, if you had looked at this map just 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was covered, completely taken over by groups like XIX and all of their friends. And now, as you can see, you've got Dracarys, you've got Init moving forward, you have a ton of empty spaces here. It's been pretty crazy. And the biggest thing that I think we've all noticed over the last, I'd say 2 weeks or so, has been that we're not seeing a ton of pushback from the bad guys. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
You are in their pings, but not in real life. No.
Right? Exactly. Like ping wise, you wouldn't know that they're having trouble. I mean, so I'm going to throw up. Fire did a soda the other day.
Yeah, this is great.
And this is the distilled down version because it was in Russian, so we had to translate it. And they the things that they say and reality don't always align properly, if you understand what I'm saying. So let me walk you through this. So their fire soda highlights, they say they're continuing to fight with the biggest coalition in the game against 60,000 pilots. That's true. Not that say that they don't have backup from groups that are just as big as we are anytime they want it, but be that as it may. They're saying the enemy is trying to attack Deterid. We defended it without any problems. We called FRT, Horde, etc. The enemy could not do anything. We spent most of our time clearing out Amensi and Tenerifis. The idea that we were going to Deterid, we're not there yet. We're getting there.
Have we even said that we're going to Deterid? Has that been a goal or a claim that we've made at any point?
We don't even know how to pronounce that region's name.
Yeah,
we're not going there.
I don't know how to say it right.
I thought it was Detroit.
Detroit.
But yeah.
Detroit Rock City. No, but the whole, I mean, that's the thing. The whole idea that that's the end goal is us going to Deterid. I don't know.
Well, I just want to throw this out there. Stuff. I want to throw out that, Fire has been making all these attacks on Quirius and Delve. And so far, we have defended them magnificently. They have not taken any space in Quirius and Delve. I mean, I don't know if they said they're going to, but they
totally haven't. They haven't touched anything in Fountain either.
Yeah, it's great. Exactly.
There you go. So, all right. So they say, hey, we hear the first signs of weariness in the Imperium and are willing to make certain arrangements. Also, Constantine thinks the war in the South will end in 1 to 2 weeks. So this is the story behind this. My understanding from talking to Darkshines was some of the Fire diplomats put out feelers to Init to what would it take for us to stop going after them very hard. And so Shines responded with a list of demands. And to be fair, there was little way they were ever going to say yes to them because we were being a little ham-fisted, which I think is good. You know, you start off from a very strong negotiating position because the bad guys are getting their stuff pushed in. We're going to ask for a lot. And the response was they said no, But then they turn around and try to use it as if we approach them first, asking for like surrender terms or something, when the reality was the exact opposite. They came to us begging us, what can we do to make you stop fighting?
Having to move the front lines forward repeatedly is exhausting. Please stop making us do this.
God, please, stop making us drop keep stars in the middle of your old home territory. It's awful.
Yeah, it's rough.
So they're telling their players they need max ADMs in Amencia and max in Deterid. That's fine. Amencia, they got trouble with because we're coming there next, but they need to get the numbers up. They're saying we're not very active and there's an opportunity to make ISK. I don't know where they're getting that from, because we have had constant fleets over the last week. And I mean, besides the fact that we've had to move literally all of our Titans and Supers forward from GE TAC to the new stager in the middle of Tenerife's, that's not been the only op momentum that we've had. We've had a ton of fleets. They're saying the war in the north for fighting is for fighting and fun, killing Tri and RMC and Esoteria morale boost for us. Okay. You didn't really do that much, and now Esoteria is completely under our control again. This one, the last thing that they said, is the one that I wanted to highlight more than anything else because it makes me laugh. The departure of Matani has had big impact on the goons. They have less and less content, no meta show, no fireside. Goons are playing on autopilot, and in a couple of years or months, the situation in Goons will definitely change. Okay. First of all, how dare you? I take one vacation day off in like months that was not a holiday in the United States. I go and hang out with my family and my bestest buddy, Mr. Merkelchen, and we don't do a meta show, and we get morale pings and soda highlights from the bad guys. Like, us not broadcasting is a victory for them.
Didn't that dude ping when he killed my Hecate that time? I was really wasted.
He did.
All right, listen, so I got the translation. And I was told that they said in 1 to 2 years, goons will fail Cascade. So, I mean, that's, yeah.
Those kind of time horizons don't usually work. Like, yeah, our intelligence suggests within the next 25 years, there will be no more goons. Just hang in. Like, okay, that's pretty serious.
That's it.
Now, Merkelchen, can I ask you this? This is something I've been told, and I want to know if this is what you did to Brisc. When you guys meet up in real life, I've been told that you require people to call you Merkelchen or Mr. Merkelchen. Is that an accurate statement?
My friends can call me Merk. I make my girlfriend has to use the full name. I feel like she's a very low-ranking space official, so I just don't want there to be accusations of favoritism or anything like that. You know what? This last little, getaway we did, we were all so despondent just from the previous 14 days of everything that was going on and all the stuff that was happening. We ran into each other in the lobby and we're like, no space talk for 24 hours. Deal. You know,
That's it. We're done. That's it. Here, have a beer. And that's what we did. We hung out and just enjoyed ourselves, and the family had a good time. And we got to catch up. And that's it. Guys, as much as Constantine wants to imagine that the meta show is going to fail and goons are going to fail and everything like that, we've picked a new leader. I'm working on figuring out who's going to be doing this co-hosting with me. Merk is stepping in as interim co-host for a couple weeks. He's there when I ask him to, but he's not going to be permanent because he has a real life. Asher, I would love to have him as my permanent co-host, but he doesn't have a fucking camera. So
he's taking some shots here. I feel like we're under fire, right? I mean, what kind of show are you running here?
I'm just saying.
Listen, who hates us more, Constantine or Brisc? I don't know at this point.
I have to get all the toxic out of here before Frank gets here because he's going to really lay it on thick.
Oh, Frank's showing up? Oh, no.
Frank will be here today. Yeah, you guys get. I found him wandering around outside.
Is he going to say something to Mr. Merkelchen or
oh,
what?
Yes, he is. Yes, he has things to say that he's very upset about.
Comes at me and it's bullshit. And by the time I formulate a response, he's leaving. So it's like whatever.
That's what he does. He is the king of the drive-by media.
I've got a question for you, Brisc.
Please.
Is Mr. Merkelchen, in real life, is he the kind of guy who gets the bacon on the cheeseburger? Is he living high like that, or is he ordering off the dollar menu?
No. This is the salad man.
Really?
This is the salad man. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. One of the things you'll find when you hang out with us is we prefer to drink our carbs, and we usually will try to order something otherwise healthy. So we had a lot of fish. He had fish, a lot of fish that weekend. We killed a pretty tall seafood tower thing. We always do that. We always get the seafood tower whenever we go out. So that's that. Yeah, we're not big like greasy hamburger kind of guys. We tend to drink more beer and have salads, and that way we can drink more beer.
I will tear this shirt off so fast. You have no idea.
Mr. Merkelchen will take any excuse to show it off.
You got it.
And for the record, I'm allergic to regular fish, not shellfish. I can have shellfish.
He comes in and he's like, "Woo, guys, I've been running. I am tired." But like 3 times a day, this guy tells us about it. I feel like he's either running a lot or telling us a lot. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
He did hit a major milestone this week. Did you not, Mark? Would you like to tell us about the major milestone?
And just for the record, Prick, talking about running burns calories just like running. Okay, so yeah. Exactly. No, you know what? I started running in April, and I hit 100 miles last week. I mean, give me a break. It's
congrats, dude. That's good.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
After all the brewskis, this body would just fall to pieces. And dear Lord, I mean, apex predator here is what we're talking about.
I'm pretty impressed because I don't think I drove 100 miles last week. But well, I guess I must have when I came back from the mountains. So anyway, all right, moving on. We want to talk a little bit about next up what's happening in the North, because I got to say, guys, the Brave fraternity propaganda war has been legit. And not only has it been legit, like I'm going to show you some of the ones just from the last week or so. The Brave guys have been fighting real hard on Reddit, and they're doing a great job, and I'm proud of them. And they've I think finally hit their stride. Panda jokes are funny, so these guys they keep making the panda jokes, and the Brave guys are doing pretty well up there against fraternity. But the big news that we have not yet covered on the show, because we've had other things to talk about, and then we had our vacation, was Test Alliance, please ignore. Once the number 4 largest alliance in the game, they have slowly but surely sloped their way down to 6th place. Has been hired, or at least is saying they are deploying up north to Pure Blind to fight against our dear friends in Brave for fraternity. And I kind of want to talk about this a little bit, because they did a state, they did their state town hall on, I guess it wasn't a State of the Alliance, it was just a town hall on July 10th. And I got two clips I'm going to play for you guys about this, and then I'm going to laugh at them, because not only does this not make a whole ton of sense, I'm kind of surprised that they seem to be acting like fraternity is the underdog up there. But here is what Test Alliance executor Mifune Sword God, Balder, had to say about their deployment.
Effective immediately, we're going to be going and assisting fraternity in their war against Brave, which means we're going to go to Pure Blind. We're going to help them in Tosis, give them some numbers, and just go have a good war where we get to fight people. It's not going to be a boring blob fest. And that is the crux of the announcement.
Test is going north to Pure Blind to give fraternity some numbers. They're going to give fraternity some numbers. But guess what? Look at these numbers. This is what has happened to Test since they announced they were moving. They have lost almost 500 members. They have lost a bunch of corporations. The slope is real. If you go back even farther, the slope looks even worse. So it seems to me like a lot of people in Test that wanted it, or that were told, hey, we're going to go fight for fraternity, which is funny because they were just fighting against fraternity 3 years or 4 years ago in a massive fight that was like Villy's greatest adventure. Their biggest thing was they beat fraternity into the ground, and now they've turned into fraternity's meat shields. It's pretty freaking amazing.
This has not gone I don't think any of us expected it. When Fraternity announced that they were going over towards Pure Blind and going to start pushing on Brave, I think most of us were thinking, oh shit, well, good thing we just took over Catch. We could just be like, hey, Dunk, free real estate, like why not? But honest to God, I don't think this could have possibly gone worse for Fraternity. And I would say by proxy, I don't think it could have gone worse for Test, but they are in dire straits themselves. And this was not the answer for them. They have made the wrong decision at every turn since the day the war ended, and they are just continuing to lurch in that direction under the guidance of whatever 13-year-old is running that alliance now. So I just think that hats off to Brave. They have done a really good job. You always hear Dunk Dinkle talk about focusing on the fun per hour. Who gives a shit what Reddit says? Who gives a shit about all this other stuff? Are you having fun or not? If yes, then things are going well. And oh, by the way, Brave is cleaning up on Reddit. I didn't know there were good posters over there, but holy shit, they're just eating lunch all day long over there. And you know what? Over a long enough timeline, believe it or not, that stuff actually does start to matter because it begins to sway public opinion in your favor. And clearly they've done it. So good job to you guys.
I'm impressed with these guys, and I like some good propaganda. And the fact that these guys are throwing this out there, it has been absolutely hilarious to me. Now, here's what else they said, which I think is probably going to come back to bite them in the ass. This was also from the same.
Doesn't change what we have now. We're still going to be maintaining Outer Passage. We're still going to be allied with Horde and doing all of that good stuff with them. And I think it's worked out really well, and it's going to continue to work out well. Doesn't change what we have now. We're still going to be maintaining Outer Passage. We're still going to be allied with Horde and doing all of that good stuff with them. And I think it's worked out really well, and it's going to continue to work out well.
It's worked out really well, and it's going to continue to work out really well. Well, guess what has happened? First of all, they lost a Tatara, rigged Tatara, in their staging home system of NEU in Outer Passage. Not only did they lose it, what did they lose it to? They lost it to a fleet of 10 nightmares. 10 nightmares. They could not form a defense fleet to push off 10 dudes in nightmares. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you guys. Like, it's just, there is the kill report. They lost 6 total ships defending this fully rigged Tatara to a small, tiny little fleet. 19 on one side, 4 on the others, and they did nothing about it. It's mind-boggling to me. And then it gets worse. So here we go. Next up, they lose in the span of about a day 2 Fortizars, a bunch of Rorquals, and the rest to a fleet of 50 guys manages to do 64 billion S worth of damage to Test in their backyard in Outer Passage.
Brisc, if I may defend the free people of Test Alliance, please ignore. They are managing, unlike you and I, to avoid the blob by hiding under Horde's skirt and then going and deploying with Fraternity. So who are we to question their decisions when they're living their life right and everything's burning and everyone's leaving and you've got this dude giving the shittiest speech I've ever heard and just repeatedly saying, so yeah, it's going great. By the way, it's going great. And yeah,
it's going great. And I'm so proud of you.
Right.
I mean, over and over again. I mean, look, this is Outer Passage. This is their home territory. This is where they live. Since the announcement that they were going up, they have lost 6 systems in Tosist in Outer Passage. Now, granted, they can argue, oh, we didn't really care about those systems. Oh, it doesn't really matter at all. It's not a big deal. Oh, we didn't know that Tatara anyway. Oh, those Fortizars, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the reality is you are a 6,000 plus person alliance. You're going up north to help Fraternity, give them numbers, but you're also going to keep all your stuff back home. But folks are killing all your stuff back home, and you don't seem capable of doing anything about it.
Can I just say that watching Brisc telestrate like a more handsome John Madden is such a heartwarming activity to me.
Fun?
Watching him draw on the screen, and you can see right here, these are the rigs, circling the rigs.
I don't even know how to do that. How do you? Matter of fact, don't tell me. I don't want to know. It's better if I don't know.
leave him behind the curtain. Like this is the magic.
It's fun. I have a little telestrator pen called Epic Pen that I can use to write on my screen. And then I clear it away and go on.
I have
an
EpiPen as well. Yeah,
I was going to say you've got an EpiPen.
It's not an EpiPen. It's not like I need it for my fish allergy. It's
Didn't Pharma Bro like fuck those up or something?
EpiPen. There you go. Anyway,
you know he's out and he's posting on Wall Street Bets, so him and Bill may be interacting right as we speak.
There, you know, it's entirely possible. So I just have to laugh and be like, you know, that this is this. And Dark Shines just told me this to point out. This is the same shit they said during the war, during the Vietnam. Well, we're going to take all of Delve, Aquarius, and Fountain and spread it out amongst ourselves. Oh, and we're going to keep all of our space back in Esoteria and everywhere else too. You say that, but you actually have to put your money where your mouth is. Otherwise, people are going to be like, no, not really. And what we're seeing now is all of the smaller guys who want content know that they can go up and fuck with Brave stuff in Outer Passage, and they can't do anything about it. So if anything, I think you're going to see more of this. If 10 guys in Nightmares can kill a Tatara in your stager, in your Keepstar system, I don't know what else to say, but that's not a major alliance in EVE Online, because there are high-sec groups that are doing a better job protecting their infrastructure than Test is right now.
Do you want to have your mind blown, Brisc?
I want to have my mind blown, yes.
Do you know that Test Alliance still gets money out of the Tranquility Trading Tower? Their cut is still the same.
Are you kidding?
That these 5 people are getting the same cut they were getting before to lose their space in Outer Passage. So
they have to be the richest 6 EVE players now of all time.
That's why they won't disband, right? That's got to be it. I mean, if you disband, you lose the money. So they're just like they're on the dole from the TTC, and they have no reason to disband.
I can't. It just flabbergasts me that, you know, even for a deployment like this, and granted, we've been saying Test is next since the end of the Vietnam War, but we've said this before on the show, and I'll say it again. Test, we don't need to really go after them because they're doing a fine job of destroying themselves just by being themselves.
Would be pretty fun though.
It would be fun. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But hey, if we got to get through hoarding those guys to get up there, I'm good with that too. That's where the fun is.
Well, so, I mean, first, obviously, we have to complete our invasion of Deterid that the 3 of us planned.
Right, exactly. You know, we have to complete all of these objectives we never set for ourselves.
You could offer me $1 million and have the EVE map with no labels on it in front of me, and I would not be able to pin the tail on the region to I'd hit catch or something like that, and just I'm so sorry, I'm bad at this.
I mean, that's how I feel where you are. Wait, hang on. You just keep talking. I'm going to pull this up for Merkelchen. Just go ahead.
Great. Listen, here's the thing. So you sort of become familiar with the geography of the places that you've lived in EVE. So there are certain times where maybe like some of our older military people get together and they're talking about like, we're on this advanced stage or far flung from anywhere that I've ever lived. And they're like, oh, we got to get this one system. This system is the linchpin. And you would never know that unless you had fought a war there before. So being a part of like a really old organization, there's obviously a lot of institutional memory and things like that. Just click, oh, good capital geography. They have to take a regional, blah, 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 blah. I don't know that I've ever been in Deterid, even in like a shuttle. So I have no idea. It could be Tombstone, Arizona, for all I know.
I think it's safe to say we all call it Space Detroit for a reason, and it's not just because the name is similar. So there you go. All right. I have been putting this off as long as I possibly can, but I don't really think I can put it off anymore. I think it's time for us to do an Imperium update with Fountain Frank. Are you guys ready for this?
Ready.
All right. Let me go find where he is. He's probably drinking my beer.
Chris, before you do this, could you just pull up this image I sent you, and then
you want me to pull up this image? All right, let me grab it real quick.
We're gonna give Merkelchen an impromptu quiz.
This is gonna be a tough. This is gonna be a tough one. I can already tell this is gonna be a tough one. All right,
give me my EpiPen. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Here we go. All right.
All right, so this is a no cheating quiz, Mr. Merkelchen. So
Okay.
where
here it is.
Is it on the screen? Is it on the screen?
It is on the screen. Let me zoom in a little bit.
There it is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I've blurred out most of the names. I've given you a couple anchors, so you can familiarize yourself. Now, at the very upper right-hand corner, the very top blurred out, what region is that?
That is obviously Declan.
Declan. All right, now I want you to look over. There is on the left, you can see Declan branch fade, sort of left top. That's Declan.
Clava Blabla's in there somewhere in the blurry area.
That's Cobalt Edge, which I think you were trying to get out. And I know that you were not saying the Kalevala expanse.
Geminite's over there.
Yeah. All right. Let's get. How about at the very bottom there, Brisc? The very bottom one, sort of that's blurred out. Let's see if Merkelchen can guess that one. Very bottom right.
You need to scroll down just a little more. I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it. All right. Let me move this up a little bit.
You see where his dot is, Merkelchen? You see where that beautiful telestrated dot, that orange dot was? Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but that's where I want Merkelchen to guess that one.
There you go.
Okay. So there's Impasse. Faithabilis is there. Immensia is there.
Immensia, yeah.
Can I just guess which one I think is Deterid?
Yeah, that's
fine too.
Is Deterid the one that is to the right of Curse?
To the right of Curse.
Yes.
The one that's connected.
I know the one that is to the right, but no connection.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to give you, you're not too far off. That is Wicked Creek. Okay. Deterid is the one that was right below that.
Oh, and then Scalding Pass is over there.
Yeah. Scalding Pass is the one that is connected to Curse.
Okay.
So you know what another thing we're putting you on the spot here? I don't think I could do any of these. I don't think I could name one of these correctly. This is the unfairest quiz we've ever given.
Am I a future Sky Marshal at this point? Because I clearly can rattle off random regions' names with no clue of where they are.
I mean, you have as much knowledge of the geography of this place as I do. So there you go, Brisc. There's the actual map.
There is the actual one. Deterid is way down in the fucking bottom here.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to admit that Darkshines was trying very hard to feed me answers in real time, and I thank you and I love you, buddy. At least someone knows what they're doing.
He was trying his best. The delay got you. It's just the delay made it a little hard.
I love it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go grab Frank. I'll be right back.
Okay. I've noticed Brisc's camera's frozen, but we'll deal with that later.
I'll fix it.
Yeah. It's not a huge worry. So, what's this?
Just hold on one second. Yeah, it's thanks. Even know what the hell is going on here. You guys leave the mics live while I'm coming in. You start to tell me to come in, and then you stop and you want to give testing to this dude with no shirt on. How is this even a thing? I'm totally freaked out right now. But let me tell you, I came here because I want answers. Merkelchen.
Yes. Hi,
I want answers.
Yes, you got it.
What? Demand answers. Look at this. You need to explain. What the fuck is this? This is a dead Athenor in Delve owned by one group known as Karma Fleet in Delve, the fucking horde. What, did you just fall asleep? What happened here?
You see, what had happened
was you're going to go with that route for me.
Okay. Several major institutional failings. Number one, that is in NPC Delve. That make me look bad that I didn't know we had Athenors in NPC Delve, but God damn it, we don't anymore. So we fixed the glitch. Number one. B, the Alliance should notify us when our shit gets hit, because like, how am I supposed to know when our stuff gets reinforced? I own way too many structures to keep track of all of them. And that is not an invitation to shitbirds to hit my structures. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. So, Frank, I feel like this is a low blow. It's a cheap shot. It was everybody's fault but mine. It was probably more your fault than mine, as a matter of fact. Where were you when the Athenor fell, sir, if that is your real name?
How dare you? No wonder you're not the Alliance leader. You're letting shit die in Delve. We have to give Asher the job. We can't trust you, Mr. I can't even put a shirt on to be on television. What do you think this is, Baywatch? I dated myself with that reference, didn't I?
Yeah.
There's a new one, isn't there?
Is there a new Baywatch?
Yeah. You watch the movie?
That's exciting. That's exciting. Anyway, listen. This is not the only thing that died this week that I want to talk about, because this is amazing. You look like Jamie Tart right now. I very much appreciate the jacket. That's very good. Listen, the next best thing to losing a Karma Fleet structure in Delve, which is unforgivable, frankly, is what I saw here. And this is the greatest thing that has happened this week. We have yet again, from the man, the myth, the legend, one Frederick Von Hole kills a Chromoa's AT ship 200 billion ISK. And the best part of this kill mail, it's a daredevil killing a Chromoas. That's so good. It would be like a Nurgle killing that other thing that looks like a Nurgle.
Hydra.
Yeah, the Hydra thing. It would be like that. It would be like all of it, like a Raven State issue dying to a Raven Navy issue. It would be hilarious. This is the greatest thing. Fred Von Hole.
This kill is shameful. How could you let this happen, Merkelchen? How could you?
It's the greatest thing. And I have to say, Fred Von Hole is not only the greatest murderer of AT ships of all time, he is a poet. This kill mail is poetry. I'm so proud.
He got sick of killing AT ships, so now he's like starting to flounce a little bit with it. He's getting very creative, you know?
I can't just kill the ships. I got to do it with style. I'm going to mock the guy by using the shitty version of what he has to kill him. It's beautiful. Fred, we love you. Merc loves you so much, he named his dog after you. That's how much we love Fred Von Hole.
Indeed.
On this show. It's amazing.
My last word. What? Go ahead, please.
My last word.
What stupid thing are you going to close with, sir?
I was actually going to be nice.
Never mind then.
What I'm going to close the show with is, I would have loved to have been the Alliance leader, the coalition leader of the Imperium, because I have enough medals to qualify me for that job. But if it can't be me, I'm happy that it's you, Asher.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank. I had a devastating comeback ready for you. And then this moment of vulnerability and honesty has thrown me off my guard, especially when I'm dealing with Mr. Merkelchen so much. I have to be very careful what I say. But you have touched my heart. Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome. And again, I don't even play this game, so that's why I couldn't tell the difference between a Dramiel and a Daredevil, but they're the same thing. It's fine. All right. I am turning this back over to you guys.
Yeah.
For the rest of the show. I will see you all next time. I'm going to go get Brisc. I'm sure he's out getting a sandwich or something. I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for having me on, Asher. Great luck. Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
And Brisc will be back here in a minute.
Okay, Frank. catch you.
Merkelchen, I've got an important question for you. A really important question.
Yeah, sure. Fire away.
Are you near a pool? Because the monetization is in jeopardy right now. If you're not, is there a hot tub nearby somewhere?
Of course there is.
A beach. Oh, okay, yeah.
Listen, I mean, it made me think of something when you were talking about how you need to either have a brutal takedown prepared or be ready to experience strong feelings. That's basically the entire history of our relationship is we Om Num Shivai ourselves, hold our still beating hearts up, and we have feelings together. And it's going to be a wild ride the whole way through. Hi, Brisc.
I'm back.
What is Num Shivai? What is that? Is
Temple
that like
of Doom?
Is that like
Indiana Jones? Are you not?
Is that like Kali Ma? Like Kali Ma.
The guy who's getting Kali Mad is just repeating Om Num Shivai over and over.
Really? Oh man, I was on board with the reference. I didn't know about it. That's you broadened my horizons.
It's true.
There you go. All right. The last thing we're going to do on the show today, you guys are getting extra because even though CCP charges you 33% more, we don't, but we give you more content. We're going to do a very brief piercing the corporate veil and talk a little bit about what's coming up here soon from CCP. It's that time of year again. It is time for the Alliance tournament. They just announced it. Alliance tournament 18 coming out August. They're going to start running out the tournament updates. I will go through. You guys can, I'm sure, listen to all of the various different groups out there that will be talking about this over the next couple of months, but I did want to highlight the dates for you. Key dates. Signups will open on August the 9th for the Alliance Tournament 18. Close the end of August. The roster and the lock and access to Thunderdome starts the end of August, and then October rolls around and November rolls around. That's when you're going to finally get to see the next round of the Alliance Tournament. Now, this year's Alliance Tournament is celebrating Minmatar. So what they are doing as Alliance Tournament prizes, they are going to bring back the Freki, the Mimir, the Adrestia, and the Utu. These were all previous Alliance Tournament ships. They're going to tweak them a little bit, they said, to make sure that they're different from the originals. But this is a chance to get old Alliance Tournament ships, many of them that are not in the game anymore, that have not been seen in a long time. They will be coming back. I am looking forward to seeing this. Asher, are you going to be on the Alliance Tournament team this year?
I've already talked about this. I won't be running it, but I would like to be on it. I don't think I have the time to really run a team. I've done that a few years, and it's fun. It's fun, but to do it well is time consuming. So yeah, should be on it. You can actually only have 30 people from your alliance as team members now. I don't know if you read that, but only 30 people can actually join, which is a shame because usually we just we did a poll in Elysium, made people X up and just picked 10 random people from the alliance to fly with the team that day, which makes our results look a lot better in retrospect, to be honest. Once you know that information, the fact that we won any matches at all, it seems like a miracle. But yeah, so I should be joining it. Are you joining yours, Brisc?
I've always wanted to do the Alliance tournament, but one of the problems that I have is that I'm really bad at this game. So I don't know how useful I would be. But it's always something that I've wanted to try. I tried out, I think, a couple of years before I ran for CSM, I wanted to do it, and I tried for a little while, and I just couldn't make all the practices. But I would like, it's the kind of thing that I would like to try to do. I think it would be fun someday just to be able to say I did it. I was in an Alliance tournament. That would be cool.
You're going to be seated in the quadruple plated shoot me ship. Clearly that would be the move if I had my druthers. It's hard. I think a lot of people think it's easier than it is just because, you're watching a match and you're like, okay, here's a comp, there's a comp. People don't realize the practice and how many runs and just the theory crafting. It is an absolutely staggering and intimidating amount of work. And it's sort of its own weird little sliver of gameplay that's like nothing else.
And that's why I think it's kind of cool just to try that. But I see in the chat, Mrs. Brisc has said, my request is denied. No more hobbies. That's fair. That's totally fair. All right. Alliance tournament coming up. August will be the month to get prepared for the tournament. which happens in October and November. Looking forward to seeing all the teams out there competing, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of my friends at Event Ithaca and the gang out there commentating. I think that'll be a lot of fun. All right, we have hit the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for having joined us. I will turn it over to Merc first and then to Asher, our king, for the last words. Merc, anything you want to say to the audience before we get out of here?
Appreciate everybody sticking with us through, just formatting stuff while everything's being sorted out. The show must go on, as they say. It is what it is. And Crazy Dissy, thanks for that big 20 gift sub there too. That was cool. Stick with us. We'll continue to have fun stuff for you guys to watch on your Saturdays. Just hang out, stand on us. You can count on us to put something good together. Brisc has been in the driver's seat of this thing for a long time now. So that aspect is not, changing in any way, shape, or form. So we'll keep seeing you kids on Saturdays.
Got it. Asher, Mr. President, any last words for the crew?
Thanks for having me on. I always have fun chatting with you guys. You two are some of my favorite Eve people. And then I want to congratulate you. Thank you for letting me announce your new permanent co-host. In the future, it is Brisc Rubal and the Big Red Boat coming at you
there
for the Meta Show.
Boat's coming back.
2022. It's give the people what they want, and Brisc did it, and we thank him. He is a gentleman. I love him. Great guy.
I have to talk to Boat because honestly, we've been trying to think of what we're going to do for the show the next couple of weeks, and I wanted to rotate people in and out of the show, and I really want to get Boat on for a week. I think that would be hilarious. So I got to talk to Boat. That'll be good. Bring back Boat. It'll be great. Darkshine says, why not Brisc and Frank? We tried that, and Frank stole the show from me and locked me in the closet for the entire hour. So he will not be co-hosting again because I don't trust him.
Brisc, trust us. A lot of us thought you were locked in the closet when we first met you. It took a while to figure that one out.
Then you met Mrs. Brisc and everything was fine.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been the Meta Show for July the 30th, 2022, our last weekend together in July. We'll see you in August. Thanks again, as always, for watching. I am Brisc Rubal, joined alongside Merkelchen and the new Alliance Executor for Goonswarm Federation, Asher Elias. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and you stay classy, New Eden.